Hi, my name is Becca. As most of you know, last summer we all went on a mission trip to Port Arthur, Texas. Note, we are going again, so please join us. However, this is not merely an advertisement for a great experience, even though you really should come. I had never been on a mission trip before, so I didn't really know what to expect. All I knew was that I was yet again away from all of my friends here in Dallas, and I would yet again not be able to hang out with them, even though I really was excited to hang out with my youth friends and other people at church. Any expectations that I did have, however, were shattered. The mission trip was one of the most eye-opening, mind-blowing experiences I have ever had. It literally changed my life. Whenever most people think of mission trips or helping people who really need it, they think, or at least I think, of poor third-world countries far, far away. I never expected anything like we saw to be found here, in my country, in my state. It was a violent wake-up call. These people had been living without so much for so long. Things we take for granted: clean water, a house with a roof and walls, heating and air conditioning. At the mission trip, you had a choice between two jobs. You could either A, work on one of two houses, or B, work at VBS at the Boys and Girls Club. I chose to work at the Vacation Bible School. I was placed in charge of leading a group of 5-year-olds. We all know 5-year-olds. 5-year-olds don't particularly like to be led, or if they do, all they want to do is hang off of you at once, and all 10 of them demand your attention at the same time. The first day was exhausting. Most other group leaders had an assistant. I did not. Now I realize this was a blessing in disguise from God, though I sure did not see it coming at the time. It gave me one-on-one time to bond with some wonderful kids. I learned so much about these little people. How many of them had lost a mom or dad, or were living with aunts, uncles, and grandparents or friends because their current environment could not sufficiently meet their needs. Instead of seeing them as annoying, I began to see them through God's eyes, as beautiful children in need. I never expected to grow so attached to these crazy 5-year-olds from the first day. I really never expected to have made such an impact on them. When we were finished with Vacation Bible School on the last day, they were all sad and begged us not to leave. We were all a little teary when we promised we would be back. It's amazing that a little attention and love can be such a gift to people who need it. So expect the unexpected, because it really could change your life.
Hello, I'm Alex. It can be overwhelming to think that we have to do something as amazing as what Jesus did, such as when he made the sick person able to walk. A lot of people get so intimidated that they just turn away from their calling, thinking someone else will take care of it. But we don't need to be scared. God just wants us to do our best, whether we're doing something big or small. For me, I like doing little things, such as smiling. And it's easy for me to smile at Dee Dee Bennett and Charlotte when I pass them in the church hallways, but it's a lot harder to smile at someone I don't know. My goal is to smile more, but not just more at people that I know and am comfortable with, but with strangers. Even though they may look at me awkwardly when I randomly smile at them, thinking, who is that strange girl? I bet on the inside they'll be a little bit happier, knowing that I care about them enough to give them a smile. I'm going to do my best to share my love, which I feel is what God has given me and what God has called me to share with others.
Hello, my name is Becca. I believe we can help in unexpected ways by being welcoming and encouraging to strangers. In life, we are faced with an abundance of awkward situations. Whether it's because we don't know anyone in a place or because we are out of the loop in some situation, there are many times when we could use a friend by our side. When any of us feel alone or unmotivated, it is the best feeling having a little bit of encouragement. A few weeks ago, I was faced with an opportunity to be in a group where I didn't know anybody. In the setting, I saw God in the eyes of strangers. These strangers welcomed me into their lives as if I'd been with them forever. They were the most friendly and encouraging people. They made such an impact on me because when I was alone and awkward with no one to talk to, they came to my side. Everywhere, there are people who feel out of place and alone. At work, at school, at church, at parties, at meetings. We can help in unexpected ways by sitting by them and making them feel welcome.
Hi, I'm Kit, and my mom's not here today, but I have a feeling she'd be really proud because I can already feel myself starting to cry. Right. Patterns. They're easy to fall into and very, very hard to climb out of. Our daily lives are immersed by patterns, both big and small, such as school, work, doing laundry, going to the grocery store, or eating dinner. We all know the pattern for eating dinner. You wash the dishes, you set the table, you sit down, you eat, you talk a little bit, and then you return the dirty dishes to the cupboard, right? Wrong. Each and every one of us immediately knew that that pattern was incorrect. Why? Because when we repeat a pattern, it becomes instinctive, learned, and expected. When we try and unlearn a pattern, however, well, it's hard to really say that we could ever accomplish that. But this summer, I'm going to have to try, because on the first day of each week for the past 15 years of my life, I have taken for granted that I will wake up, put on nice clothes, and get in a car. I have taken for granted that in 20 to 25 minutes, I will arrive safely on the doorstep of Westminster Presbyterian Church Fellowship Hall. I have taken for granted that I will walk down the preschool wing to Miss Arabella's room and later on up the stairs to the youth room for Sunday school. I have taken for granted running wildly up and down the hallways as an energetic 5-year-old when the adults weren't looking, of course. I have taken for granted the endless comfort, compassion, and knowledge given so willingly and selflessly by my 30 sets of grandparents, 50 sets of parents, and a motley crew of siblings. I have taken for granted sitting in the congregation among the singing voices of my family as the melodies of hymn ring off the walls of the sanctuary. I have taken for granted also donning my robe and watching everyone from the choir loft sing faces that are so ready to smile at me when I catch someone's eye. I have taken for granted all my years in this home, in this love, and in this family. This fall, things are going to change for me. Lyon College waits patiently on the horizon, and I have thought of this summer countless times, so sure that setting off into the big bad and yet bright world, that it'll be a piece of cake, I can handle it. But I found that it's a little bit more difficult than I thought it would be, and that is quite unexpected. I know it will not be hard to find myself with a new church family in Batesville, Arkansas. Yet changing this pattern of coming home each week to Westminster Presbyterian Church and my family will not be easy. How quickly the years have disappeared, and can't I have just one more? I'm sure that's a phrase that is not only running through my mind, but the minds of my family as well. And I know for sure my mother and my brother has said it to me more than once. God only smiles at me and nudges me onward, sure in my ability to carry light and love out into the world, though I am not. With his help, I hope to find, as William Faulkner writes, an acceptance of elapsed and yet elapsing time. For though the fleetingness of time may be unexpected, and though sometimes we must leave behind all we love to find new hearts out in the unknown that are cold and in need of help, it is always in our power to look back with a smile before marching onward.